Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another edition of MidRank Madness. Today is a Patron edition, and let's get right on into it. In the top left side of Ascension to Aiur, we have the red Terran player. It is WarTorn. And in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, we have the blue Terran player. It is JezuzPlayer with a Z. JezuzPlayer. JezuzPlayer? I'm not sure it works that way with a Z. Is a mystery. All right, so one of these players has subscribed to me for $10 a month at patreon.com/FalconPaladin. It is a great way to support daily StarCraft 2, Legacy of the Void, and Brood War action if that's the stuff that you like. Please click the link in the top right. Look at the rewards that are available to you. Even just $1 a month would be a wonderful thing. If every one of you guys just pledged $1 a month, I could like eat pizza every once in a while. It'd be a good thing. It'd be a good thing. Anyway, so here we are with MidRank Madness. It's a really fun place to be, honestly. It's the biggest segment of StarCraft 2 players in MidRank Madness, Gold, Platinum, and Diamond level. If you'd like to have your game cast by Falcon Paladin for MidRank Madness, go ahead and send me an email, including your replay from that level of play to falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of MidRank Madness. I will send everyone that I get to my screeners. The best ones will be chosen and cast every Tuesday and sometimes more frequently, and you can learn and laugh and enjoy seeing what's going on in, again, the biggest population center of the game. A Reaper opening here from JezuzPlayer. Terran player, on the other hand, WarTorn is getting a Marine himself. So let's name this one Reaper, this one single Reaper, not getting two. Sometimes you get two in these TVTs at the higher levels especially, but whatevs. All right, so this Reaper's name, I gotta start removing the ones I've already said. Okay, here it is. This Reaper's name is Vanellope von Schweetz. For Wreck-It Ralph 3, apparently they're already making the second one, our favorite little candy racer has accidentally been locked into a game in StarCraft 2. Oh, this makes sense. After me, my only hope was that it was too bulky. My fate was unknown to all except for what death could see. It came whiffling through, and not to slow, there was the Vorpal Blade. There was the no-win Snicker Snack. But I still had to attack. The second was over only long enough. Had death stayed to collect my soul from the Stover as the ending? Well, I'll tell you when I get back from this battle. After all, I died to a Jabberwocky, so I'll be fine. Wow, Jabberwocky reference. That came out of nowhere with Vanellope von Schweetz. Did I mess that up? This might just be Vanellope von Schweetz, and it ends at like locked into a game of StarCraft 2. The other part might be from a different Reaper name, which is more Jabberwocky-centric, which would make a lot of sense. Anyway, Vanellope von Schweetz gets no kills, nothing happens. It's an actually interesting wall-off here from our Terran player. You can do that on this map because there's no way to hop up. There are no hop-up spots for Reapers on Ascension to Aiur. They have to come through this area, so a wall-off is actually fairly brilliant. So 2 barrack opening with Marines getting started on, oh, that's a tank. That's going to be tank on that factory with a tech lab and a starport follow-up from our Terran player with its red as well. Meanwhile, a lot of Marines in production. Already a factory done with a tech lab for JezuzPlayer, getting a starport a little bit later than his opponent, but he does have an expansion before WarTorn does. So WarTorn needs to get some damage done. If you're not going to expand in the first 5 minutes of the game, you have to do serious damage to your opponent or just straight up kill them. I guess that's always an option, is straight up murdering your opponent. You know, just a tiny bit of murder. Nothing too serious. Anyway, let's see. So actually today the wife and kids are off camping without me. I could not get away. It's a very serious time at my workplace. Could not get the time off. It was kind of short notice too. I'm generally okay getting time off at my work if there's an advance notice, but this was like a week's notice, so nope. Didn't happen, so I'm alone here in the house. I might get a pizza. I've already mentioned pizza once in this cast. I'm probably going to watch a movie. Thinking about watching Super Troopers, which I have not seen before. It is basically a parody movie about highway patrolmen, and I've seen a couple clips of it on YouTube, so it's something I'm interested in. So you know what? I think I'll pull it up. I think I'll pull it up on the old Voodoo and get to watching some hilarious stuff while I take a break from casting. Yeah, Siege Tank, Marine, Medivacs here. Expansion, again, done for JezuzPlayer. It's 29 to 25 Harvesters, and that just means we're oversaturated here for WarTorn. He is down a little bit, but he still has enough workers that he's not being as efficient as he could be if he had an expansion. This is so interesting. He also has a refinery he's long-distance mining from. What on earth? He made a refinery at his natural, and an SCV is going back and forth getting gas from it. I don't understand. It's crazy. All right, so Marines and one tank coming inside these two medevacs, trying to sneak on down to murder some things. Got our friend Vanellope von Schweetz here, hanging out at a potential third base location for JezuzPlayer defensively. And the drop's going to be pretty damaging, I think, for JezuzPlayer. He has a tank and 6 Marines, but it is 13 Marines and 3 tanks on WarTorn side of stuff. I guess 2 of the tanks are back home. They're not coming along, but still, this is going to be 12 Marines and a tank. What are their upgrades looking like? They don't have any upgrades yet. So no stim, no combat shield, which is a problem, but still going to get some work done nevertheless. There's a Viking out. Going to try to take out one of these medevacs. The Marines have got to save it. Save the medevac, and they do. They do save the medevac. It's going to heal. Oh, medevac comes in to defend. No, JezuzPlayer, no. Flies right over those Marines, gets murdered. This main base is just going to get obliterated. There are a couple tanks out now, though. Tanks on top of Marines without combat shield or upgrades. Not where you want to be if you're a Terran player, but does kill a lot of SCVs. 19 SCVs killed. Missile turret gone. Engineering bay getting shelled by this tank as well. We're going to finish off the engineering bay, and it's time to pick up and boost on out. We do have 1 medevac remaining. Enough to get these guys. No, pick up. Go. Does pick up. The tank's almost dead. Medevac does manage to leave with 4 Marines and a tank. It is now 26 to 18 harvesters. I think that counts as serious damage, and he expanded behind it as well. Did WarTorn, so that's great news. 1,000 resources lost for WarTorn compared to 2,100 for JezuzPlayer. Yeah, that's a lot. Killing that many SCVs is a big deal, especially in TVT. Feels like especially in the mirror matchups, killing workers is a big way to get ahead. SCVs transferring down to the natural base, trying to see what's up with that. There's mineral patches. There's mineral patches here, you guys. A lot of Vikings here for a WarTorn and making some Liberators as well. So both players just kind of chilling. Just kind of chilling like a villain. A tank on the low ground defending here for Jesus. Tank on the high ground in the main base also defending for JezuzPlayer. And has anybody actually, have they said good luck, have fun in this game yet? Nobody has said anything in this game so far. It's been very mute, strangely enough. So Liberator going to sneak down for WarTorn. Try to get some stuff done. The problem is your Terran player has a lot of Marines, and they're willing to sacrifice each other to kill you. You can only one-shot them. They're pretty low on HP, so it's pretty optimal unit for killing Liberators. Throwing up another missile turret to replace the one that was killed previously. You're inside the main base. Not near the mineral line, though, which is very surprising. That's maybe where you'd want to have the most defense, but whatever. JezuzPlayer has a 3rd command center under construction here. He's expanding despite the fact that he lost a ton of SCVs. He's been making them pretty much non-stop since, though. He's at 31 to 35. He's down to WarTorn, but not by much. Not by much. And then Vikings flying around. Oh, is it going to be Viking harass? That'd be amazing. He could... Well, there's the tank here, though. Maybe the Vikings could land up here in this corner and pick off these SCVs in this natural base without the tank hitting them. What do you think? Ah, they could. They could be right here. Right here, just out of the range of the tank, but close enough to hit those dudes. Liberator, again, trying to fly inside the main base, but there aren't enough Marines to just shove her right out of there. How does she have 2 kills already? She must have thrown down a defender mode circle. Oh, she's throwing down another one, and gets a Marine. Gets another Marine. Nicely done, coming back. Just when JezuzPlayer thinks that he's scared you away. Oh, too close. Too close, Liberator. Bad deal. Vanellope von Schweetz is still sitting here at this 3rd base location that I'm sure Jesus wants to land in eventually, but oh, the SCV building the command center is dead. Completely dead. Meanwhile, Vikings for WarTorn are just patrolling back and forth. They want to catch drops, but I don't see any... No drops moving out for Jesus. He does have a couple medevacs, though. Couple medevacs, which could be used for drops, but he's playing pretty defensively. WarTorn has got him on his back foot for sure. +1/+1 on the way for WarTorn. He's getting +1 vehicle weapons as well. And Viking moving out. Some Marines and some Marauders moving out. Where are the medevacs? Where are you at, the medevacs? Oh, you're up ahead because you're faster than a lot of other things here. 3.5 move speed on the medevacs. Tanks are at 3.15. Marines at 3.15. And Marauders at 3.15. So actually, I did not realize that Marines, tanks, and Marauders all have the same move speed. I guess it makes sense. I suppose it makes sense since they're usually moving out together in that particular situation. That was weird. Those mules came down. I didn't hear anything. Sometimes the sound in replays is weird. Sometimes it's very odd indeed. Nobody going for that 3rd base quite yet. This command center is still not being finished for JezuzPlayer. That's how you know it's a mid-rank madness game. Sometimes stuff gets forgotten and all the other stuff that is to be done. That's one of the things about StarCraft that's great, is there's so much to do. No, Vanellope, no! Tank fire, get out! Okay, can't survive 2 shots. Only 1 shot there today. tanks setting up. Oh, the defensive tanks from WarTorn are in range, though. That's bad for the tanks of JezuzPlayer. 2 tanks getting blown apart. Viking versus Viking action. More Vikings in the air for WarTorn. Gonna try to pick off those medevacs, but the Marines, no, don't come in here. So many Vikings for WarTorn. Wow. They might just sneak in there and get rid of these medevacs, but they're playing it defensively. This tank is still a problem. Maybe you could land your tanks inside that minimum distance and take it out. I guess dropping, there you go, dropping tanks in there is also fine. All right, so the attack by JezuzPlayer is removed. Tanks taken out of the game. He set up a little bit too close to WarTorn's defenses, which is just one of those cardinal sins, man. TVT, tank versus tank. Don't set up in range of somebody else's tanks that are already in siege mode. Don't you do it. He still hasn't finished his 3rd command center. He's working on it, though. There is an SCV in here. Okay. All right, so he's working on his 3rd base. I don't see any sign of one from WarTorn, though. He has 2 basing it until the day is long. Until the day is long. Thor under production for WarTorn. That's exciting. We don't see a lot of Thors in our games. Games with Monado notwithstanding. That guy runs into a lot of meching Terrans. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is with him. So +1/+1 done for the Marines. The Vikings have no upgrades. The tanks have +1 attack, which is what the pros get. They get that +1 attack for their tanks. And they seem to be happy with it. 108 to 94 total supply, 41 to 36. WarTorn has a lead on JezuzPlayer for both of these. Going to land his 3rd base. About time. Seems like he should have done this around 5 minutes ago, but hey, better late than never, I suppose. And WarTorn is building a 3rd base in the same location, just cross positions as JezuzPlayer is. Trying to sneak on in here, but there are sensor towers. You can see the circles on the mini-map. Some maps it's harder to see them than others, but all right, tanks are set up, shelling these Marines. And by tanks, I mean 2. 2 tanks on the ground. Are there? Where the heck's the other one? Oh, it's way over here. Join the party, tank. Join the party, WarTorn. Tank firing on the Marines, trailing bits of flames. Landing the Vikings. He did land the Vikings. He's trying to kill some of these SCVs. Get up. Get out of there, Vikings. Don't sacrifice your lives unnecessarily. He does lift and run, but everybody's dead but 2 of them. Yeah, you don't want to do that when there's defensive units around. Oh, this tank needs to join the battle. Come on, WarTorn. See this tank. Ugh, I can't really blame him. I am blind to stuff on my screen all the time. You guys have pointed that out to me more than once. More than once. In fact, at least twice. At least 2 times. Vikings trying to sneak on in and pick stuff up in the sky. Can't do it. Nothing really here to pick off. 41 to 30 harvesters. We have 27 SCVs have been killed for JezuzPlayers. WarTorn pulling back. WarTorn is pulling back. He does not like his position. He likes his 3rd base, though. He's throwing up missile turrets all around it. He has a lot of missile turrets, actually. A lot of idle SCVs here at the main, which he just moved. And, yes, he's intending to move to the 3rd base. As you can see, it says 12. There aren't 12 here. That's because they're pending. It gives you the pending number of SCVs and workers at every base. Thors, can they not get out? Or are they stuck in this? I don't think they can get out. I think that tech lab is preventing them from escaping. Well, that's too bad. You have to kill this tech lab, or I guess just lift this barracks and replant it somewhere else. That seems totally fine. Seems totally and completely fine. And then it gets exciting. Then the music gets exciting. More factories in production by WarTorn. He's spending his money pretty well. Sitting at 100, 300. JezuzPlayer is at 400, 300 as well. Back down to 2-2. He's just down about 20 supply and about 10 workers, which is not where you want to be in a TVT. Again, mirror matchup supply is a lot. Tank count is a lot. It's 3 tanks to 6 tanks. JezuzPlayer has the lead there, but Marine count 23 to 36. JezuzPlayer up there as well. So you know what? He could do some damage. He's really got to work on his upgrades, though. He's getting +1 infantry armor just now at 14 minutes, and just now getting stim as well. Do we have to speed this up? Do we have to speed it up because you guys are sitting in your bases? I suppose we do. I suppose we do. So we're going to ×2 it here because nobody's moving out. Everybody is turtling as hard as terribly possible. Ghost Academy on the way from WarTorn, though. All right. I like some ghosts. I like some nukes in the games that I cast. And working on building armor next is JezuzPlayer. That's interesting. Queued up on this engineering bay. You really should have 2 engineering bays. Upgrades for your bio are so important. Once you have +3 Marines, you can handle tanks pretty well. Look at these Thors, though. All right, so both players, as usually happens in these games, I don't know how, choose to move out at the same time. They sit there for 5 minutes, and then it's like, you know what, I'm going to move out. And then they telepathically, subconsciously tell their opponent that they should move out too. What is that upgrade? High-capacity fuel tanks on the way from WarTorn. This has been around for a while, but nobody gets it, and I always forget it exists. It's just, what does it do? It increases the duration. Yeah, increases the duration of Ignite Afterburners. Lasts 50% longer, so boost is nicer. This might turn into a base race. Totally could. 2 medevacs trying to sneak on in. There are missile turrets everywhere. Don't go in there. There's missile turrets. Oh, one of the medevacs dies immediately. One medevac does unload. Does unload its cargo of +1/+1 Marines with stim and combat shield. They kill a supply depot. Missile turret finishing off their medevac, though. Oh, these Marines are so less efficient now. So much less efficient. The Thor's poking in. Tanks firing as well. All right, so Thor's trying to do that single target damage. Pulling back, allowing the tanks to deal with the people that are attacking them. The Marines inside the main base for WarTorn not really being dealt with, as it turns out, and the 4th base is done for WarTorn as well. So he's setting up here at the front with his tanks. He is down in tank count, but he is up in Thor count, is what he is, and the upgrades too. +2 attack is already done for his vehicles, whereas no attack upgrades at all for the tanks. But Thor's defending with a ghost. That's very good. Very good, Thors. Way to clear it out. 153 to 39 total supply. Walking into tank range. Tanks doing that bonus damage versus armored. 70 damage per shot against the Thors is bad. But anti-air capabilities, getting rid of that Liberator pretty nicely. JezuzPlayer trying to sneak one in there. WarTorn says no. No, not allowed. Not even the smallest bit allowed. Siege tank, siege tank, siege tank, siege tank. Vikings, Marines, Marauders. Cloak. Oh, personal cloaking on the way for the Ghost. Do they have any nukes yet? No, hasn't made nukes yet. Has way more money than he needs, though. He's got 2,300, 1,500 in the bank, whereas JezuzPlayer is sitting at 100, 1,100, and a 4th base is on the way for him as well. So both players just kind of chilling. I don't know that Thors are what you want here, dude. Tanks are just so good against Thors, and it is double nuke. Double nuke. Double nuke on the way for WarTorn. I'm going to put that there are nukes in the description of this game. I know sometimes people don't like spoilers, but dude, it's a TVT. You guys don't like TVTs. I will show you why you're wrong, because there's nukes in this one. There's nukes. And nothing else. +3/+3 for Bio on the way for WarTorn. He's also getting +3 armor and ship. Vehicle and ship plating +3. Trying to sneak around this outside. Here comes your Ghost. Oh, here comes the nuke. Is JezuzPlayer going to see this thing? He's kind of moving out of the way, but not really. Is he going to be flying over this when it lands? Oh, he's dodging back and forth. No medevacs. What are you doing? Ah! Oh, 2 of them die in the nuke. And WarTorn decides it's time to move in with another nuke on that planetary fortress. It's kind of hard to see on buildings. Oh, and JezuzPlayer's out. Okay, he can see it. Oh, and the nuke doesn't land. WarTorn, no. WarTorn. Oh, the nuke is enough to make JezuzPlayer to leave. Oh, that was sad. How sad for him. All right. Well, he ended up losing 27 workers, as well as about 10,000 resources, compared to 4,700 resources lost for WarTorn. Pretty good. And no SCVs. No SCVs killed by JezuzPlayer. You can't win very well in a TVT if you don't kill any ZVZs, or ZVZs, any SCVs. Wow, brain falling apart. Falling apart. 5 tanks killed by WarTorn and 2 killed by JezuzPlayer. Both players lost around 5 or 6 Vikings. And, Vanellope von Schweetz did die. Not sure entirely when. All right, so that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another very special Patron edition of MidRank Madness. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.
guides us. Me with you, you with me. We are as one. From order we find justice. Our duty is unending. I feel your presence. We are as one. I sense your soul. Soul in search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Kushala Adu. The path of ascension is before us. Guides us. Me with you, you with me. We are as one. I sense a soul. In search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Kushala Adu. Search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Kushala Adu. Kala Rulas. Naslaranus, Naslaran, Kinalatu. Casar di Templare, Daramanaka. Shara Sashina our